Hello again, everybody. It is a good day for bad audio. I am your host, Brando Mitchell, aka Bam Bam. With me, as always, is my ever so lovely assistant slash coworker slash partner slash friend, Dewey Stevens. Yes. So we haven't done a out of the basement interview in a long time. Shout out to Santana and Red when we actually interviewed that John's Wrestling. That was one of my easily it's the first one, so I guess there isn't like really a favorite just yet. But when me and Dewey have been thinking about like who we're gonna interview next, we said that like we want to interview somebody just one on one that's gonna be like pivotal to like what we're doing and so on and so forth. So at the time when we recorded this was actually in the past. This is gonna be our future. This is gonna be a future video, but we interviewed Amanda Frank, and I thought about this one time I listened to the Maya Bialik Breakdown podcast and how she had Will Wheaton on the show. And she said that Will himself called Maya back and said, "Hey, that was a really good episode. I feel like we're missing stuff though. Could we record again?" And they did it again. The only thing was, I felt the same way, except I was the host, and I was just like, "Wow, that was a really," because I like a psychopath. After the video's done, I watched the raw footage immediately after because I don't like sleeping. So
Mhm.
I was watching the raw footage and I was just like, oh damn, we cut each other off a lot. Or I really want to dig deeper a little bit into that. I want to go into this and that. And then there's another part of me that was just like, I think Amanda needs to touch upon certain subjects that like we could have touched upon in the podcast, but like I think this is like more she needs this. So I think I think she was a shoe in to be the next person that we were going to interview for the actual show itself. So our guest for this installment is Amanda Frank. So thank you for coming, Amanda.
Thank you guys for having me back.
How you been lately?
I've been good. I've been good. I've been working a little bit. I got I guess a part-time Christmas job doing wreaths and garland with my partner's company. So it's been fun. I had a girls lunch for the first time ever. Like our boss took us out to lunch. Um the day before the day before we finished, me and the other lady that was working there, she gave us a raise. And the other lady's like, she had this before, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like all giddy and I'm like, yeah, I got a raise. Like it's the first raise I ever had.
Aw.
So yeah, it's been good. The
The simple things, you know.
simple things in life.
I hate to ask such a bold question, but you said you guys went out and had like a girls' lunch.
Yes.
Where'd you guys go? I'm just curious.
I have no idea what the restaurant's called. It was Mexican food though. I don't know what it was called. It was fancy. I haven't been to a fancy like place in a long time. So
Fancy.
it was fancy. And we were like really dirty because we were in warehouses and stuff. And it was like a 4-star Michelin restaurant or whatever. And I'm like, okay. I had a freaking Ahsoka cap on. And then the other girls all like, we're all dusty and glittery and stuff because there's glitter everywhere. And like, so our boss and her daughter, though, they're all like pristine. They have makeup on and stuff. And we're like, okay, we're here.
Huh?
It was nice, though. It was nice.
I think something that we touched upon when we were recording your episode was that you were already busy with your platform in terms of like where you've been at on terms of like media and stuff like that, right? You already
Yes.
have like your footprints and different things. You've already had your footprints and different things in terms of like where you've been in terms of the internet. I don't want to spoil it, but I've watched and seen like the posts and the videos and the text and stuff like that. Like I've seen like all the things that you've done so far on the internet. But for someone who doesn't know what your platform is, how would you explain your platform and how would you explain what you do on your platforms?
How would I explain my platform? Hmm. Well, it's kind of like a big, like, hodgepodge of things, I guess you would say. I One of the biggest things I guess I advocate for was I was bought as a baby, so um, I advocate for that not happening. I would like, the gypsy community to not do that anymore, maybe go about it in a better way. There are a lot of things that I believe that the Gypsy Romano community could do better. And I like, telling the truth. I like advocating for kids that don't have voices and people that don't have voices, because really and truly in the community, nobody really has a voice. It's just kind of follow what everybody does, and that's it.
So you say that like your platform is more of like advocacy and sort of like the alternative.
I would
The alternative. Could you dive deep in that a little bit more?
it started out like really being focused on me. Um, and then I told my story, and then I kind of used YouTube and my YouTube as like a diary for a bit. And then it got to a point where I was like, okay, but it's kind of deeper. It's deeper than just me. So I kind of pushed me back a little bit, and I'm like, I'm kind of just advocating for betterment in the Gypsy community, basically. Um, Overall, I'm trying to get my paperwork, if that's something that could happen from me being on social platforms and stuff. I'm trying to bring light to that too, because there's also a lot of Gypsy Romane kids that don't have paperwork. My stepmother was, she was trafficked like I was, right? Because it's not adoption. The way that I was taken was it's trafficked, right? I was human trafficked. I didn't know what that meant for a long time. Um, and like my little brother was bought like I was, right? So he's not going to have the normal upbringing like any other little kid. He's not going to have he's not going to go to college. He's not going to go to high school or to school for that matter. I don't even think. He's 14 years old. I don't think he's ever been to school. So I'm advocating for the betterment in Romania, or the Gypsy community, I guess.
So you touched upon something that I want to go into real quick, and you said that like
Mhm.
your younger brother, no discrimination to people who actually haven't went through the public school systems or even like the private school systems or any sort of like alternative school for that matter, right? My I know my understanding, Dewey's understanding is pretty similar to yours, but to the people who are watching at home, my question to you is just like, do you think it's pivotal that there is some sort of form of like formal education that the Romani slash Gypsy community should experience in terms of their upbringing, in terms of like where they're at? Because I say that I noticed a lot in my upbringing that there was like this sort of weird dynamic where it was like this child will go to school but this one won't, this child will go to school but this one won't. So I experienced that personally. Actually, I experienced that personally. My older sister went to public school but I didn't, but she got to the 5th grade and then she was pulled out.
Oh,
And like
yeah.
a couple,
Okay.
yeah, a couple
That happens.
yeah, no, that's the thing that happens.
Yeah.
That's really popular in our culture. But I guess going back to my question is just like, do you think it should be an all for one for all situation, or do you think that like there shouldn't be some sort of form of education in the nuclear Romani family, in your opinion?
I think that all Gypsy kids, Romani kids, Romani kids should have some type of education, because even in, the lowest paying jobs, or even in like the street, like the work that they do, right? You need to have some type of deduction skills and some type of skills with math, even, or you're going to have to know how to read and write, basic reading and writing. So, yeah, I think that it should be implemented in every household, at least homeschooling, or hooked on phonics, something just to if they're so scared, because that's the thing, right? They're scared of, I know for the girls, it's because you said that your sister, right, got pulled out at 5.
Yes.
So what I know is normally the girls do get pulled out sooner, so they won't go to sex ed.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a real thing.
So they won't learn about it. Yeah. So they won't learn about it. The
That's
boys
optional.
though, but the boys though go to a little bit longer sometimes. Like I know my cousins almost made it to 9th grade, I think. But my cousin my girl cousin, they pulled her out in fourth grade.
The reason my mother didn't want us in school is because she just didn't want us to be with gay. That's all. Not because of the sex ed thing.
Okay.
To the viewers
That's-
at home. To the viewers at
Mhm.
home, what is a gaijou and a gaiji and gaijé?
A gaijou is a white man, and a gaiji is a white woman, and a gaijé are white people.
I think it gets a little tricky with that one because I think a gaijou actually means an American man. Gaiji is an American woman, and gaijé are just American people. But I think if you say parno gaijou, that means a white man. A parne gaijé
Yeah.
is a white woman. So I think it gets a little tricky depending on who you ask. You know, like not to be a whole, not for this whole episode to be a history dump because I think I'm
No.
not qualified. I think it's I don't know. It depends on who you ask.
I think you're right, or it could be a dialect thing too.
That's what I'm saying. I think like depending on who you ask, like in terms of dialect, that's the thing. Because I'm not a dialect coach. I'm not like really too familiar with all the different dialects, but I know that it gets tricky because if I were to tell a story, sorry, go ahead, Amanda.
So, like you were saying, some people went to school, some people didn't. But me, it was more of my grandmother wouldn't allow me to because I didn't have paperwork, right? So she was scared like they were going to take me or they were going to do something to me. So that was her reasoning for not putting me in school. But I could have went to school because at the time it was very easy to go to school.
Yeah.
But she just didn't want me to because she was scared, worried, whatever. When I was like, I don't know, 6 or 7, I started to get jealous because like the other kids knew how to like do stuff. I think I was younger. I think I was like 4, 5. I wanted to read the Bible. I picked up the Bible. I started reading the Bible, and then I wanted to just know more stuff, right? So I told my
Mhm.
father that I went to a Sunday school in Marlton, New Jersey. It was called Lambs. It was called Lambs Sunday School, and the little ladies from there were starting to notice that I didn't know things, right? I didn't know certain letters and stuff, and I was already 4 or 5. So they started noticing these things. So I went home and I told my father that they're gonna take me away if he didn't get me hooked on phonics. And then he got me hooked on phonics. And then I learned from that. And then anything else was just internet.
We had a gypsy school in Portland. That was pretty fun.
Okay.
Could you talk more about that, Dewey?
Yeah, we had a gypsy school. It's actually in the papers too. My uncle, I think it was my uncle, Milano, met the president, had dinner with him, all that stuff.
Okay.
I went to gypsy school. It was me and my sister. It's just a whole bunch of gypsy kids hanging out, women talking.
What did you do there? Was it different?
It was 3 hours at 6 p.m. and we just learned how to read and write. The only thing I learned was how to read really good. I still can't spell, and other than that, we was just going there for the welfare, so we could stay on it. What else did we do? We had gym. We had other things. I'm trying to think. It's been like over 20 years. I'm old. We had a kindergarten. We had like a middle school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was the whole
So
town.
it was a pretty big size, pretty good sized school.
About 46 kids. Yeah,
Okay.
46 kids.
Wow, that's kind of incredible. That's kind of
Mhm.
incredible. I had no idea.
Yeah, it was a night school. It was really fun. My mother would go to bingo. My mother and father would go to bingo all the time and would leave me until like 11 p.m. sometimes. So
Now,
You know,
was it Christian? Was it Christian based? I'm just curious.
no, it was public.
Okay, I was curious.
I did.
Okay.
I got
Okay.
to learn how to read. I was so happy. Like I couldn't read. I didn't know what a stop sign was. I knew it meant stop, but I didn't know how to spell stop. So they gave me a piece of
Okay.
paper. They gave me a piece of paper and say, "Learn how to talk. Learn how to do this." And I did, and I've been great. Now I don't feel like a dumb gypsy.
Yeah, I think Dewey touched on something that I will agree with. My writing skills have so my reading comprehension and my reading skills have gotten so much better than I would say it was when I was younger. But my writing skills are still very much skewed in terms of like where I'm at. Like in comparison to my writing skills are just as bad. I mean, not just as
But
bad,
that-
but I mean like
That's-
it's not like okay, I feel like take the woman out of the question for a second. The people I've met outside of the culture, it's like it's like you either are really good at reading or you're really good at writing. Like I feel like I've met amazing writers who can't read that good, and I've met really amazing readers who can't write that good. Like it depends on who you ask. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But in the Womania, what I've noticed is just like, okay, you're either super good at the one thing or you're super bad at the other thing. It's like there's no middle. There's like, okay, like you're like somewhat lukewarm, and then you're absolutely hot in the other. You know what I mean? It's like
Hmm.
it depends. I don't know. That's just the way I perceived it, but that's just an I statement. You know what I mean?
If it's more than 5 letters, I don't know how to spell it. I have to like bring out my phone and pray to God.
Is it like chicken scratch though? Do you remember how like people used to say that? Or is
Yeah,
it,
yeah. I look like
yeah,
I look like I'm a toddler just trying to figure out how to spell Dewey. It's really weird.
just work at it. Just like practice it.
Yeah, I know I have to, but no one really uses handwriting anymore.
It's the phones. I think that too is why nobody really knows how to use written word anymore because of the phones. We
Yeah,
use them for everything.
I could definitely agree with that. Amanda touches upon a really pivotal thing because like my brothers didn't go to public schools, but my brothers did have Hooked on Phonics, which Hooked on Phonics was probably the savior for so many Romani kids between like the late
Yeah.
90s and early 2000s. But you see, I'm
Yep.
a little bit of a secret is that like I'm actually the youngest one in this room right now, and
Mhm.
not to age the other two people I'm in this room with, but what I will say is this: I will say that like the big internet boom and also the Hooked on Phonics boom in our culture definitely saved us. I got the
Mhm.
second boom of like smartphones that had dictation, and that is
Mhm.
probably the only reason why I know how to read and write and so on and so forth. But Amanda, you said the internet boom, right? Like that was like that was a big part of it. You said Hooked on Phonics. When it
Mhm.
came to all right, when it came to life skills, what do you think, what was pivotal for you to like learn your life skills?
When I was with my family or like
Both,
growing up,
all
both.
the above.
So when I was with my family, they would tell me what my life skills were going to be. So it's not like I would have any thoughts for myself, basically. So my family would tell me that I'm going to grow up and get married, have kids, whatever. That's it. There was no anything else. No, well, you're gonna like
Mhm.
having parents that motivate you, right? That wasn't what I had. I had parents that told me, well, you need to put on more blush, or you need to, let your hair grow longer, because if not, people are gonna say like you're lesbian or whatever, and then you're not gonna get married. So there wasn't really any life skills learned, I guess, young.
That was the same way for me. But I'm a man in the gypsy culture. I literally wanted to go to school, wanted to make a career of literally just doing concept art. I always wanted to do that, but I was always forced into doing what I had to do as a gypsy. But I could do both. No one wanted me to do both. They wanted me to do what they wanted. So I understand how you feel, man. It's just like they put you in a box and you want to climb out of the box, and then they just shove you back in there all the time.
The ironic thing is, it's like okay, like you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you're gonna do that, you're gonna do this. It's this big, long, pivotal thing when you're a child and you're being told this is how you're going to do it. And it's
Hmm.
kind of crazy because, like, sociologically speaking, there's like this idea of like, okay, the environment you're in is going to mold the way you perceive things, right? And then neurologically and also sociologically speaking, there's this idea that like it's either going to go one or two ways by nature versus nurture, right? By nature, you're going to want to do certain things. You know what I mean? Like by nature, you're going to want to experience certain things. By nurturing, you might have a different experience than other people, right? Growing up in this
Mm-hmm.
culture. So it's funny because like you touched upon like the makeup thing, and I don't want to say anything triggering to you, but you thought like probably put on more blush.
Hmm.
Amanda's the most creative, most talented person I've ever seen with makeup, and I've
Hmm.
met really talented people with makeup, but Amanda's really talented with makeup. So the ironic thing to that is that like you're told to put on more blush. What they didn't experience, what I think they didn't expect Amanda to be, was an ace with a brush.
They didn't like the cosplay stuff. The
Of
cosplay
course.
stuff was a no-no because that was me wanting boys to look at me, right? It wasn't just because I thought it was cool and I liked certain characters and I wanted to be them, and I was like good with makeup, whatever.
Right.
But my father or my mother, if my father, I think he caught me doing the jigsaw one. I did a jigsaw cosplay,
Dixon?
and yeah, I did jigsaw one, and I made a little bow tie out of paper, out of just
Mhm.
paper. Um, and he came in the room and he slapped me because it was the devil. I was doing I had jigsaw stuff on my face, and that was bad.
Oh, goodness.
So that kind of stuff was bad. They didn't like that kind of stuff. That was
Mm,
wrong. But the makeup and my partner says it. He's like, there's such a weird, like the hills that they die on are so weird because
mhm,
cosplay, right?
mhm.
Cosplay was bad, but wear a lower cut blouse or put on makeup, but don't show your shoulders because your shoulders are bad.
Shoulders?
Yeah, don't show your shoulders. I still can't show my shoulders because I'm like, it feels weird. It feels
Really?
weird.
Really?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's the nurturing part of it, honey. That's the nurturing part of it because it's ingrained in you. It's the natural
Yeah.
reflex.
Mhm.
I think like culture and tradition should shape in different ways depending on the person, right? And like
Mhm.
Yeah.
in the Americas, which I don't know how much of a I don't know how far reach we're gonna get in the future, or like where our reach is right now in terms of people who are out of the country watching this video. But we are the melting pot of the universe, right? And culture does change in America, and even the people, our
Every
ancestors,
day.
yeah, and even our ancestors who have come from overseas to be here in the United States, they came for that reason, right? So
Mhm.
Hmm.
the Lom, I'm not trying to preach right now, but like bear with me. The Lom that came here in the early 19th century, or like the 40s,
Preach.
50, the 40s, the 30s, 40s, and 50s, right? The Lom that came here versus the
Mhm.
Lom now, they wouldn't get along with each other.
No,
And
No.
no.
the hill that I find the hill dying thing I find is really interesting. So tell Tyler I'm really glad he said that. I'm glad you repeated it back
Mm.
to me because it's funny about when you hear people say it's tradition, but like we did transform what they thought was tradition into the modern
Yeah.
presence in a
Of
Yep.
sense, right?
course.
And
That's how it
so
goes.
Hmm.
I think I'm gonna word bias where it's like I believe in tradition, I believe in like tradition and culture and so on and so forth. But the thing is, like, it does have to morph and change in different ways for it to actually be sustainable.
Yeah.
Well, you know what tradition is,
Yeah.
right?
Go ahead.
Generational guilt. That's what tradition is.
100%.
Yeah, but it could be a good thing too. But when it's just feeling like you have to, it's just not good.
Well, that's what I'm saying because like traditional guilt is a real thing, right?
Yeah.
Traditional guilt is one thing, but also generational trauma, generational
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
abuse, and cultural trauma is a very real thing too, right? I hate to
Yes.
say it, but like okay. I'm not gonna go into deep detail about this, but there's a culture out there in the universe that does female circumcision. Does any, so it's not here in the United
Oh,
States.
yeah,
Yeah, I
I
don't
think
want
I know about it. Yeah.
I don't want anybody to research this in a weird
Mm.
way. If they want to research female circumcision in foreign
No.
countries, it will pop
No.
up.
Don't.
But what I will say is that that question pops up in sociology. Is like, okay, do we get mad because this is terrible because it's happening to children and it's actually hurting the individual? Or
Yes.
do we just say it's tradition, it's their culture, we leave them alone? It's always a weird thing to unravel, and it's always very personal to the person who's actually reading, listening, or watching that thing, right?
That's the thing. You guys know Moses, why he traveled 40 years in the desert because they didn't want to go in there because they were scared. And he walked around 40 years until the old people died off and the new generation was ready for what they wanted to do.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
how it goes.
yeah.
Yeah.
The new generation just has to wait and bide until it's their time to put the rules on for the better.
What's after everything we just said? I know this is a hell of a question to ask somebody. What's your favorite
Mhm.
part? What's your favorite tradition?
That's a really tough question. Do you go? I'm gonna think about it.
I
Yeah, I
just
put
have
you on the
some.
spot.
Oh, I already would have one. It's for me, my mom, and my family when we would make bidogo.
Hmm.
Uh, Before we would put it in the oven, she would give me a little cup, and I would like get little insides, and we would all drink it. It was nice.
Oh, we would do that too. I
Yeah.
remember that. Yeah. All of the what's it called? Cottage cheese and the stuff. Yeah.
So sugary, but I'm just saying to me, it was. I still do that till today. I did it last week when I made it.
Hmm.
I love both of you, but can I ask you all a very bold question?
Of course.
Did either of you put raisins in your Piogo?
I hated it.
I hate it. I
Oh,
hate it.
thank God!
I hate
Oh,
it.
thank
It's
God!
bad.
Oh, thank God! I was
Yeah,
gonna scream
no.
at one of you.
I didn't care how
I
rude I
hate it.
looked. Sorry, I don't care how rude I looked. If I felt one in my mouth, I would literally take it out and put it on the
Yeah,
plate.
it's
I
bad.
don't care.
It's bad. It doesn't belong. It doesn't
No.
belong in there.
No.
Mm-mm.
I know.
It's bad.
Yeah, no. But like we're talking about tradition, right? Like we're talking about tradition. That's why I asked about the raisins thing, because okay, I'm not trying to isolate more Lom to be away from this because they're already not watching this because if they gotten this far, God bless them. But I'm not trying to isolate more Lom away from this thing. But what I'm gonna say is this: the Lom who put black olives in the sadma and the Lom who put raisins in their Piogo.
Wait. Have you ever tasted the black olives though? Because I used to think it was gross too. Have you tasted it? Have you
Yes.
ever tasted
Yes,
it?
I have.
I've had it recently.
With-
It's okay.
With ham? With the ham?
Okay, the ham I like, but the
Ham?
Because
olive.
I've had it with olives and ham, and it's good. I don't like the ground beef one. That one's disgusting.
That's just chili, girl.
Disgusting.
That's
Yeah,
just
but-
chili.
yeah, but there's a
Dewey's
certain-
right.
yeah,
Dewey's
there-
right. Dewey's right.
It
That's
is
just
just
chili.
chili.
At
It's
that
just
point,
chili.
it's chili.
Pretty much. But the one that I was too made it with ground beef, and I was like, "What is this? This isn't like
Oh my god.
sodomy."
No, I'm
This is
just
something else.
Cause listen, I don't want to hurt somebody's tradition and their family, cause you know like that recipe.
Yeah, but there's preferences.
no,
There's
I know
preferences,
but
so-
like this is the thing. I'm just gonna say something. If you throw a house party, a birthday party, make a neutral sadma,
Yeah.
make a neutral Piogo,
Yeah,
make a
I would
neutral
agree with
potato
that.
salad. Also, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, an olive doesn't add anything to that dish.
It makes it more
Like
salty.
celery?
A little
Like
crunchy.
celery?
Okay, wait.
No,
okay,
celery.
wait. I got.
Celery adds. Without the celery, it doesn't taste like. Without the celery and vinegar, it does not taste like.
Vinegar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually know vinegar and sadma.
Yeah.
I've heard vinegar and sadma.
Yeah.
Oh, we just use lard.
No, we use lard too, but you put
Oh.
vinegar in it. It's really good.
Oh, I gotta try with vinegar now.
No, I mean, listen. I'm not trying to isolate anybody, but you're making a sadma, you're making a biogo, you're making a potato salad. If you're making savialco, if you're making anything, make it neutral. Make it so anybody can eat it. I'm telling you right now, my favorite woman-owned dish, and this is gonna sound controversial, is hama de botanilla. But here's the problem: you can't screw that up.
Okay.
You can't screw
you
that
can't.
up. It's very
Yeah.
simple. No one could screw that up. And if people get creative and like, okay, Amanda, you got a point. Yes, the olives do add salt, but that's a green olive. If you add a black
Yeah.
olive, you've done nothing.
I like black olives, so
No, I like
I
black
like
olives. No, I like black olives, just not in
you just
sadma.
don't like them in there. You
Yes.
just don't like them in there. Yeah.
If it's a black olive, I'll eat anything, to be honest with you. It doesn't matter.
Do you kokavne sadmi or chachune though?
Chachone.
We just make it mo because my family was too lazy to make it. We usually make it on the holidays with the
Okay.
bell peppers and the wrapped.
I like chachune. He likes kokavne. He doesn't like the chachune because there's too much cabbage.
Hochame is
Cabbage
no.
is so
I
good.
would make hochame for gaje.
Okay.
I would make a hochame for gaje. Like if Courtney, my fiance, who's whiter than gay Christmas, wanted sadma, I would make her hochame sadma.
Oh,
Okay. Okay.
I hate the bell pepper, but it does taste good from it from time to time.
It's good and it gives it a little crunch. It's good.
I don't eat bell
I like
pepper.
it.
No, I'm not a bell pepper guy.
Favorite tradition though, so far, like
Yes,
right now,
please, yes,
right?
please,
Because
yes,
all
please, go.
my traditions from when I was younger, I don't really think about them anymore that much. A new tradition that
Hmm.
me and my partners made on New Year's night, we'll watch Star Wars, and then at midnight we'll just have pizza and stuff together, and that's it. We just watch
That-
Star Wars, and that's
That's
a
beautiful.
cool
That's
tradition
beautiful.
that we have now, and every year we've just kept it up.
But Star Wars though.
The one where they have the celebration in the end. I'm gonna like.
The
I
first
think
one.
it's no.
Where Chewbacca
Empire
doesn't get
Strikes
the medal.
Back.
Yeah, where Chewbacca doesn't get the medal. because they're racist.
Is it what? What?
Chewbacca doesn't get a medal.
What? Like, who's the racist? What are you
I
talking
think the
about?
government. I think the government against Chewbacca's, or sorry, Wookiees, because they never gave him a medal. But the man had a moon crush him.
Yeah.
Free my boy Chewbacca.
Sorry, Chewbacca.
Free my
I met
boy Chewbacca.
I met Chewbacca actually at the Amazing Comic Con one time.
That's so cool.
That's
It
cool.
was pretty cool. It was pretty cool.
So-
It wasn't a man in a suit. It was really Chewbacca.
So,
Just
so you've been to conventions?
one, yeah.
You've
The
been to
Amazing
one.
Comic Con.
When was that? I'm just curious.
I was 18, so a long time ago.
In a galaxy
A
far, far
long
away.
time ago. In a galaxy far, far away. And I did makeup of half my face was a mask, a hollow mask from Bleach.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
But yeah, I went with my cousin and his wife and their daughter.
that's so weird. I went to SakaraCon at 18, and I used to have a Bleach mask. I literally had Ichigo's.
Okay. The hollow one?
Yeah, the hollow one.
Okay, that's cool.
I still want to cosplay as Ichigo.
Ichigo. Yeah, you
So-
should. So what? Have fun.
Can I ask?
Damn, I want to.
Can I ask you guys another bold question?
Yeah, Shellas.
So, if you were to go back in time and say, what was the thing you hid from your whole family, but it was like your guilty pleasure and you didn't want anybody to know, what was it? I can go first if it makes you guys more comfortable.
Go for it, because I gotta think about this one.
All right. It's gonna sound so corny, but the fact that this was like the early to mid 2000s makes it so much more better. I had to hide that I liked rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Like I had to hide that I like punk.
Okay.
I had to hide that I like punk music
Okay.
and pop punk, and I had to hide rock and roll from my family.
Yeah,
And,
so did
like,
I.
And like this is the ironic thing, my brothers did it too, and they just didn't tell anybody. But like I vividly remember stealing my brother's Toshiba laptop and watching the My Chemical Romance music videos over and over and over again, because Spotify didn't exist yet, honey. And also there wasn't like Pandora or anything like that. Like YouTube was
Webster.
my source. I mean, like but I couldn't get an
Yeah.
I couldn't get an iPod and like actually download the music, because my brother would have said it would have brought attention to us. So like rock and roll music was very, very a hot commodity in my upbringing. So that was like my hidden like guilty pleasure. I didn't share with my family for a long time. But what did you guys have?
For me too, I think horror movies. Horror movies. I really liked horror movies growing up. My father, because we were very Christian, horror movies weren't allowed. But funny though, because horror movies weren't allowed, but in the basement he had like 17 Tupperwares of like Playboy magazines.
Oh damn.
Like, does that make sense?
He just likes the articles.
Does that make sense?
No.
He just-
That doesn't make sense, right? Because my mother would like fight with him so much because it was like, okay, we're not allowed to watch Michael Myers, but there's like in our basement, like maybe 500 Playboy magazines. That doesn't make sense.
I hate to be that guy, but what did was his rebuttal? I'm gonna sell them someday.
Yeah, they were collector's
I
items.
fucking knew it.
They were collector's items. They were collector's items. But he used to go down to the basement and stay a long time, so.
You like reading the articles.
But doesn't like that it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. It's
So
silly.
so what was your favorite horror movie?
My favorite horror movie right now, Prince of Darkness is a really old one. It's a really good one. It's about a green it's about a green ooze that is the devil. It just is the green ooze is the devil, and then the green ooze starts like oozing out of this like I think it's from the 70s. I don't remember correctly what year it's from. But the green ooze like oozes out from these like test tube things, and then everybody around starts going crazy. Yeah, and it's just the devil like spreads around. It's a pretty good movie. You guys should watch it.
We should have a watch party.
It sounds like the Tommyknockers.
I never heard of that. Reminds me of the Blob.
No, the Tommyknockers.
Blob.
No, the Tommyknockers. It was a Stephen King story, and basically, like, because Stephen King just was. Like,
Oh, the Tommyknockers.
Yeah, the Tommyknockers. Yeah, that was.
I thought you was saying a word in Japanese for a minute.
I heard
was like-
Tommy Knockers. I never.
I
just don't-
heard Tamanaki, and I'm like, what does he say? What is a Tamanaki?
Tommyknockers.
his dream come
I
true.
was like, what is this?
Tommyknockers.
Tamanaki.
You know, there's like, there's like a guy on Reddit, and like he got to anime really late, and like his Reddit name is Tomanaki because his name is Tom. You know, like, that's just yeah. All right, so we were talking about like just like the thing we hid from our families. But dude, what did you hide from your family for a long time?
I guess because I wanted to become a voice actor. I wanted to actually do stuff with my life, and everyone would just make fun of me about it and tell me just to shut up and do it, do something else. I guess that's what I want to have a career better than being a gypsy.
I have a story for both of you, but I want to hear both of your takes first, or at least like Amanda, like what was your take on this? Actually, what was your dream career, and like what was your dream career then? What was your dream career now? And is it the same? Like, what is your dream career when you were a kid versus now?
My dream careers when I was young was artist and taxidermist.
Taxidermist.
Why? Yeah, taxidermist. I wanted to be a taxidermist because I liked the idea of you know, like those people that get really attached to their cats or their dogs or whatever, right? And then they want them there still because they're gonna
Yeah.
miss them. And I thought that was really sweet. So I wanted to be a taxidermist. My father used to tell me that I was a devil worshiper though, because I wanted to do taxidermy. Um,
Let's.
the artist thing though, when I was like 13 or I was 12, I think, 12 or 13. We used to live in Palmdale, California. I entered a art contest in the paper
Mm.
and I got a I won a $10 gift certificate to El Pollo Loco. And it
Oh,
was in the
really?
paper. It was in the paper. I wish I could find it. I wonder if I could find it. But yeah, it was in the paper.
Was it on the
But
website?
yeah,
Okay, just use the
yeah.
way back machine and go to the website, or just if they have the paper on the website.
Or your local library? Actually, they have archives of newspapers from
It was
times.
in California.
No, I'm telling you that
Oh.
that library in Palmdale. If you probably go there, they probably have it archived in there somewhere.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
you're right. If she just acts as there in a newspaper with Amanda Frank, they should automatically have that in there.
So
I didn't think about that. Okay, cool.
yeah. So I was gonna say actually, it's funny. The reason why I asked you like what did you want to be when you got older is because I remember. I think I was 13 or 14. I can't remember when it was. I visited my father up in Jersey, and I told him I was just trying to like. I think low key, whether I want to admit this or not, I just wanted to bond with my father. I wanted to like have some sort of hope in the universe that I wasn't alone. So I asked my father, Dad, what did you want to be when you got older? And he got angry at me, and he literally said, Brandon, I wanted to be a gypsy. I didn't want to. We weren't supposed to. We're not supposed to be firefighters or police or doctors and like that. We're supposed to be gypsies. I mentioned to you guys earlier about like how you don't realize. I'm gonna push aside all the academic stuff for a second.
Mm.
You don't realize that when you said to a child how it's gonna either
How
go
much
one
it
or
stays
two
with
ways.
them?
It's gonna go one or two ways. Either you're gonna prove them wrong, or you're gonna prove them right.
Mm.
But the reality is this: if you prove them right, you might get lost in what you set in them, or you might actually create a monster of them trying to prove you wrong, and then they get lost and just trying to prove you wrong. So it's funny because like I said when I was a kid I wanted to be a game designer. I wanted to like design video games stuff like that, and thank God I didn't choose that path. But the thing is, like, it was funny because Dewey brings up like you want to be a voice actor and stuff like that, and like you get the things you get told like, okay, you're never gonna do that, you're never gonna do that. But the thing is this, like, I think now more than ever, and I would like to hear your take on this, Amanda. Actually, is like when it comes to people, because you said like your advocacy is a big thing right now, right? My thing is like if you were to talk to somebody in the younger generation, like people that are younger than us, what is advice you would have for them, and what is something you would actually have to tell them in lieu of like trying to them to like follow something outside of the norm?
I don't necessarily think that you have to leave Romania or the gypsy community. Um, I think that if you are going to be the person that leaves and just goes into like the normal world or whatever, make sure that you have your identification, because life is very difficult without it. And I know that there are a lot of girls, because there have been a lot of girls that have come to me and told me like, I wish we could leave, but we can't because like their family had their paperwork and they wouldn't give it to them, or they sold their paperwork, or they just didn't have their paperwork. So they're forced to stay. So if you're one of those people that wants to leave the community, I would say make sure that you have your identification and everything sorted out first. If you're a person that wants to stay in the community, I just think that, you know, clean up life a little bit and maybe get a job, maybe live life a little differently.
I like that. But I'm gonna tell you guys that I think in about 10 years, no one's gonna care if you get a job or get into voice acting, do video game stuff, do what you call that? Do anything, because I've been hearing around town. One of my friends, her cousin, she's married to some boy, and they have her own little cooking channel. It's got like 20,000 subscribers, and they're both Guam. They're both gypsies, and they're loving it.
Okay.
So I don't think we're gonna have to fight that long to get where we want to be now, and show everyone that you can do what you want and when you want to do it. Because when I was a kid, I said famish because I heard somebody say it, and my mother said we don't say that we don't say big words. You sound like
Famish?
yeah, like I'm hungry. Because
Okay.
I heard this cartoon say it because it's a big word. It meant hungry. So like we don't use those words. Blah blah blah. She used the F slur, and it just kind of put me down, thinking I can never talk.
Mm.
And I was like 4. I was like 5. It was oh yeah, cartoons. I remember the cartoon exactly. But even when you're that young and you get yelled at, you don't want to move. You don't want to do anything.
I learned Romanes out of spite.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, when I was young, my father, I used to say wrong words. I
Uh-huh.
used to say, so I think I was like 7 years old. My grandmother was asking me to brush my sister's hair. And instead of saying the right word, I said the F word in the place of brush. And my grandmother made me, you know what it is. So my grandmother made me repeat it over and over again. And then
They
they
say,
like from
they say brushing a woman ear.
in Romania, in the whole Romania,
Yeah,
or
how
in
do you guys say?
Romanes.
No,
In
how do you say
Romanes,
no? How do you say brush? How do you say
Yeah,
brush in a
yeah.
Romanes?
Sorry.
brush. Uh,
I don't.
uh, I I'm thinking I could like see the word ganga, ganga.
Huh?
I think ganga.
You know what's funny? There actually is a word that I don't know what word it is, but I've heard it when someone does the long version of Pilav Sas de Masa or Double Bacchus Sas de Mos.
Hmm.
There's a word you could add that says obrosh, and I always
Oh, bros.
obrosh, and brosh. I don't know what that word means. Brosh. I've heard it a million times. I just don't know what that means.
That's so weird.
No, because like during the holiday season, my uncle said he's just like, oh, if you want to be fancy smancy, you don't just say double Bacchus Sas de Mos. You say double Bacchus Sas de Mos da 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 obrosh, and I was like, that's the thing. I only remember the obrosh part because I was like, oh, like a brush. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Well,
sounds like some.
I said a different word. I said a different word for the hairbrush.
And you
So
said the F word.
yeah, I said the F word in place of
Okay.
that. So so from there, my father told me never to speak Gypsy again. And then I didn't for the longest time until I was 22 when I got married. The people were from South Africa, so their people really only spoke Afrikaans and Romanes. So I was like, oh, okay. So I either learn Afrikaans, which is sounds kind of Germany, or I'm like I learned Romanes. So I learned Romanes, and I was like, okay. My family was like, no, you're never gonna learn Romanes because these people are gonna throw you out, whatever, because you're not gonna learn it. And I was like, no, I'm gonna learn it. So there was this old man, and this old man and this old lady, and they were really nice to me for some reason. And the old man just used to the old man and the old woman liked to have me over to their house, and I would just practice like gypsy words with them. And the man would always, he was like, okay, what other word do you want to know? What other word do you want to know? But I was already like 22, and then by like 23, 24, I could speak fluently Romanes. But like before then, I couldn't speak like a word of
I,
Romanes.
I wish I had that. Every time I tried speaking woman that day. My mother and my aunt would laugh at me. You said it wrong.
We touched upon something I think is very pivotal because it's just like we want you to be traditional, but then we get mad at you when you're trying to learn the language that we speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
It doesn't make sense. I'm telling you, like the
Yeah.
hills that they die on are very it's up and down.
well.
It's not even a hill. It's not even a
It's
hill.
not, yeah.
I hate to do such a deep cut, but Coolio said it once. He's just like, how am I gonna learn if you ain't gonna willing to teach me?
That's what I told my mother. Like,
How do you
I'm
want
like,
me to
how am I
learn?
gonna,
Yeah.
how am I gonna learn if
Exactly.
you guys don't teach me? You'll pick it
Yeah.
up. Like, I don't. That's how my brain don't act that way. I don't pick it up that easily. I gotta watch you guys like 75
Mhm.
times.
My grandmother used to tell me, "Dikpe mogavas, dikpe mogavas." That's how I learned. Vas. This is hands. It's vas.
Yeah, what? And then they would
Yeah.
literally do this
Yeah.
to me. Like, did you see that? Like, you're a fucking idiot. If you said no.
So they did the shadow clone jutsu to you?
100%.
They did
They
the
hit
sexy
you-
clone jutsu.
They no, that's messed up. Don't say that.
My uncle did. My uncle did anyway.
Yeah, okay. No. But anyways,
Oh,
Yeah.
wait. Do you guys know about the gypsy murderer guy?
No, please go ahead.
I'm gonna go
Sana?
get some to drink.
His name was
okay?
Sana. You're gonna go get
Okay.
something to drink. Okay, his name was Sana. Sana.
Okay. Mhm.
I think his last name was John. John or Montez.
Okay.
And he was in a carnival. Him and his wife was in a like they ran a carnival, whatever. And the wife cheated on him. And then he shot the wife and the guy that she cheated on him with.
Oh
But
wow.
the way that he killed him was he just like he punched him so hard that the dude just died. I think you could pull it up if you look for it's Sana John, I think. You could pull there's full
Sunny?
articles.
Sunny John?
Sana. I'll send you guys the name.
Yeah,
But if
I'm
there's
curious.
articles and stuff, about it.
Yeah.
I heard somebody punched a guy and he died and it was considered self-defense and that's why he never was charged.
Self-defense.
Well, God knows where's that from.
I just like old stories you hear, like you're just like I want you to picture this, like you've all experienced this, like you're all sitting around like in a circle at a table, or you're all like at a party, it's like that, and like you just hear stories about people and so on and so forth, right? Like there were stories about this one man who killed his wife and buried her in a buried her like many states away, and like he got away with it, but like he talked about it nonstop, and he was just like, no, I did it, she's dead, and he just never got
Oh,
caught
he
doing
talked
it.
about it?
Yeah, like apparently he talked about it, but then also, to be fair, there's also like other stories that don't like. There's other stories that like just don't like that say negative of what he said. It was just a nickname he got growing up, and people just like added stuff to the equation. So like they gave him like the name, like they gave him the nickname like Killer, but like he just got the nickname, and then people just made lore about him saying like, oh no, he actually killed his wife, like but like he didn't actually do shit. Like his wife just left him, and that was it.
Okay.
His wife just left him, and that was it.
Okay.
Then there's other things too where it was just like, okay, he was at a party once and he was just drinking. He's just like, no, guys, I fucking killed her. And it's just like, no, he was just fucking around because he was drunk and high and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like, it depends. It depends on what story you want to read. The fucked up part is, if that's a true story, we've let the man get away with murder. We've let the man
Yeah.
get away with murder.
Yeah.
In the last episode you were in, Amanda, you said something along the lines of like you did an interview somewhere else. And again, not to spoil it or like actually like give anything away actually, but you did an interview with another channel. And I want to know, what was the reaction after, not just your personal reaction, but the reaction to like your friends, family, and people who have reached out to you since you did that interview? And can you talk about that channel and like what they are and what they've done?
So yeah, her and her husband, Cults of Consciousness, they're really cool people. They give people platforms to just speak about their past experiences, their stories. She helps people just push the stories out more, right? She has a pretty decent platform, and then people go on her show, and she's helped a lot of people actually from the Amish community get their documentation and stuff. That she's helped them, like she's helped the Amish people get in touch with other Amish people that help get their paperwork, because Amish people too, when they leave the community, sometimes they don't have their paperwork. So Yeah, so Shalice and Jonathan, they help a lot of people. The response after was a lot. I had a lot of a lot of comments, a lot of good comments. I thought there was going to be more negative things, honestly. Um, and I talked about that with a few people, and I wonder, I thought I was going to have a lot more negativity from Romania, honestly, like a lot more. But I'm not sure if it's because I'm kind of a person that talks more like truthful about stuff, right? It could be
Yes.
because I'm a person that talks more truthful about stuff and they're worried that they're going to antagonize it more. Because I've gotten some good comments from WOM too that are like they tell me like good job. We hope that this goes somewhere, right? We like the way that you're going. Romania needs to change. The gypsy community needs to change. And then I got a lot of friends from it. I have a lot of like little ladies that like we check in on each other now from it. It opened up a lot of doors. It opened up a lot of doors. Some of the doors that it opened up from the start, I was very quick to run to them, and then I had to shut them really quickly. And now I'm kind of learning where where to put my time and my effort, who
Mhm.
to really who to align myself with more, if that makes sense, rather than just putting myself with anybody because you don't really know people until you start working with them, I feel like.
Mhm.
And then sometimes when you're working with people and they're not really professional, something that's really little could become really big, right? It could become like one word could just trigger them and then it could become really big. So I had to pull myself from a few things too, because there was a few things that I was doing that were supposed to be like really big, right? Really big with the podcast thing. I had to pull myself from that. And then I'm I'm thinking now, honestly, I sent you guys a piece of it last night, I think, about in the future kind of putting together a book.
Mhm.
Um, but it would kind of be more like you know how like a poetry book is set up, where
Mhm.
it's like it's stories, right? So it's not like a s- uh, a straightforward story. So it would be a book of like kind of my whole life, but in bits and pieces, if that makes sense.
So you talk about like writing a book. You talk about like how you had to open and shut certain doors in certain projects, and like how you're still pursuing other projects right now. And like I gotta tell you, on a personal note, because I don't try to get too personal on this show, which is an absolute lie. I know I'm saying that out loud, but since I've known you, you kind of it was funny because like you went from being very quiet to making the most noise in terms of like the people that I've known in a very short amount of time.
Mm,
And
Mhm.
people always
Yeah.
define noise as a bad thing, but you've made the most noise in
mm.
terms of like productivity and outreach and advocacy and so on and so forth, right? My question is like
Thank you. Thank you for that.
besides no problem. Besides the book and besides like your content creating, where do you see yourself going in the next like maybe 3 years?
Well, I'm hoping right now to get a job at a little landscaping company, and I'm looking forward to that. So, but the next 3 years, that's a big question because my life is very uncertain with jobs and stuff like that. So I can't really, I don't know. Moved up at the landscaping company.
What do you want the new year to bring for you? Like, what are you most excited for the new year? Because, you said you got some plans.
The job, moving into a new apartment,
Ooh.
getting a decent computer that like will do stuff because this computer is just, I could stream on it, but I can't record. So if I try to record right now, it'll like crash.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I like the answer you had for Dewey's question. I also like the answer you had for my question. I think those are both really solid responses. I want everybody, especially you two, to know. I wish I actually didn't know the answer sometimes. I know it sounds very cocky and arrogant and smug, but I actually like the uncertainty of being like, I don't know what's gonna happen, because I think sometimes knowing what's gonna happen is actually gonna drive me more insane because I know it's gonna actually happen, and
Yeah.
the lead up to it is gonna give me a bunch of anxiety and like dread and that existentialism that comes with like, oh, in 2 years I'm gonna get my associate's degree. Oh, I'm gonna get my associate's degree in 2 years. What's gonna happen after the associate's degree? That's what I'm talking about. So like,
You're right.
yeah, so as I'm saying, like sometimes I feel like not actually having a plan is actually having a plan, if that makes any sense. So I think that
Yeah.
into in to kind of like use this as like an outro as well. Is there anything you want to end? Is there anything you would like to say to the people at home, people who are Romani and people who are like watching at home, in terms of like people who actually don't know what their plan is and people who actually do have a plan? Like, what would you like to tell them for the people at home who are Romani or un-Romani people? Un-Romani, that's a word. Yeah.
On Romani. I guess for the un-Romani, the un-Gypsy people, I guess. Or for both. I think that people need to have morals again in general, like just morals again. People don't have morals again. People need to care again. Um, like every day, bad things happen in like where I am, right? And they don't put it on the news because it's not deemed as big enough, right? Yeah, it's money. Yeah, it's money, but it's not deemed as big enough, right? So I would implore everybody that's watching just to, to start caring again, start feeling again. Because it seems like we're going into a very dark time in the world. I don't know if I'm the only one that's feeling that, but I feel like we're going into like a super, super dark time. And it's like really, really heavy. Like I feel like a heaviness for some reason.
I literally was crying on Brandon last night because what you said, what
Mm.
everyone's feeling right now. I was literally crying on him last night, but so, it's just there.
Yeah, I think everybody's feeling it, right? It's just heaviness. It's parimos. It's
Mhm.
If I could take what you're saying and like kind of like put it in like the form of like a little small index card, I would say like now is the time to actually start feeling. Would you
mm,
say? Would you say that's correct?
yeah.
Now is the time to start
Yeah.
feeling. I
Yeah,
agree there.
now is this time to start feeling
Yeah,
because it's just the world is going real down real quick for
yeah.
some reason.
I guess to kind of quote the OGs who are watching this right now, now's a good time to have a feeling. Yeah. I just want to say thank you. This is at the time of when we're recording this, a month before the new year. By the time we're actually releasing this video, this is a new year. This is a new time for the Bad Audio Show channel and so on and so forth. I would really like it if you guys actually followed, liked, and subscribed to all of our videos. That doesn't make any sense. Let me rephrase that. I would really like it if you comment, like, and subscribe. And I said that wrong again. Let me try one more time. I would really appreciate it. Well, we would really appreciate it if you guys commented and liked the videos, followed us on social media platforms, subscribe, hit the bell notification, and see anything that we're doing, and actually add and subtract to what we're doing as much as you possibly can. I would also like to say thank you to Amanda. Amanda, do you want to plug any of your social medias, platforms, Twitch, all that good stuff?
My name is Amanda Frank. If anybody wants to follow any of my socials, they are all Red Pandas Attack 93.
Thank you very much. And also, I'm gonna say it now. New York Times bestseller. I'm calling it right now. New York Times bestseller. If not, it's gonna be my top 5 best books. I'm gonna definitely read that book. I want a signed copy.
Me too.
Yeah, and also, as I said before, this is a new year for the Bad Audio Show. I'm glad you guys actually. I'm hoping you guys actually got to this point and you enjoyed the video. We look forward to seeing you guys again. This was a good day for Bad Audio. Until next time, have a good night.